have to make that distinction when we make our resilience plans, because if you have a situation where you have a flood, it is something that you have to act immediately, but if you have this effect of temperature rising, which is a very gradual kind of process, the same kind of plan will not work. You would need to make that distinction. So one of the most important things is that for at least for our 53 million plus cities, we know the kind of disasters or the climate impacts that they are likely to face. We could have that kind of a plan based on whether a slow onset or a sudden onset kind of problem is going to affect them, and then build our resilience plans and all the points that have been made regarding the integrated approach. All that will work very well when there is a sudden kind of a situation, but it won't work in a slow onset situation. You would need a very different kind of planning in that kind of aspect. One other point that I would like to make regarding the point that Mr. Bhattacharya made was that we have talked about the kind in the context of cities and the 74th Amendment, that what has been the devolution of power in that case. But the issue that is also very critical to see is that where is the finance for the cities coming from? Where are they raising their money from to finance all of these activities? Most of the cities are actually raising their money from property taxes, and that's the bulk of the finances. In many cases, the property taxes have not been revised for several years, so there are problems in that aspect. The other issue is that there is also this aspect that for certain specific projects, it is the state government is stepping in with the money. For certain other issues, there is programs, national programs like the JN and URM is stepping in. So, but there is no overall overarching mechanism to look at the finance of the city for the entire country, and it is high time. In fact, we gave some thought to this aspect as well.